Alrighty then, it is that day, it is that time, which by the way, if everybody does not know, the short quick announcement, I am moving the podcast to Fridays today. So if you're watching this is our new day for a little bit because some reason every Wednesday something either comes up between my side or Corvo's side. This time was my fault. My wife wanted to go to a party. And I was all about that idea because my wife doesn't get to see her friends very often, and parties sound like fun. I don't get to very much have many of those at my age anymore. All right, so as always, we have the illustrious Corvo Ninja with us today.
Hello, everybody.
Which, by the way, reminds me, did you stream last Thursday?
No.
No, you didn't stream Thursday either. Okay.
Yesterday I was started feeling sick after I got to work.
Mm.
But I went in because I had to drop Soren off we had to take Soren to the bus stop anyway that's by work.
Okay.
And about 8:30 I couldn't do it, so I left and come home, and I've been home yesterday and today, and I ain't felt real great. Yesterday was way worse than today, but Mama Stealthy has had me on lockdown. You know me, I'm not the kind of person that sleeps a whole lot. I mean, you could tell when I was up there, I'm usually first one up, damn near the last one to sleep.
Yeah.
And so I come home yesterday. I think I lay down around 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I woke back up about 5 minutes to 3.
Ooh, okay.
That gives you any indication of how I felt. And then today, I went to bed last night. Say about 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Because I mean, come on, I had already slept damn near the entire day, so it was hard to go to sleep. But when I went to sleep, I woke up about. I woke up when the boys got up to go to school, and then I laid back down and went back to sleep, and I woke up again a little later and went and got in my chair, and that's pretty much where I've been all day.
Didn't move, didn't even bother.
I ain't felt like it.
I don't really blame you too much. If you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good. Sorry to hear that though.
Mom being nice, because we're expecting maybe having some company after podcast today. She came over and helped with some cleaning and stuff because I was feeling like crap and Stealthy wouldn't let me.
Yeah, because
And in case you're wondering, the reason you don't hear the disembodied Stealthy is because she is still currently cleaning.
Yeah, she's on a rampage. That's what she does, and she does quite a good job out of it.
But it is what it is. Anyway, so I want to jump into this whole thing, this whole anime that's coming from
Okay.
Great Games.
Yeah, and me and you have been both praising the game for what it's been doing and the writing of lately, and been wishing they would do it because they've been teasing.
It was amazing to see the fact that they were like, "Oh, wait, you want an anime? Hold on, let me show you what we've been working on."
Okay, so go ahead and announce the game, and then.
So Genshin Impact, guys, for people that don't know, is going to start an anime series. Couple of have you seen the trailer first off for the series?
I have not, but don't worry. You don't need to spoil it or worry about spoiling anything. I'm going to watch it regardless if you spoil it or not.
Let me tell you, you know how we love that anime style that where all the like mountains and trees and all that look very real?
Yeah, that almost a paint scenery.
Yeah. So they showed the mountain, the frost in part of it as they do an overflow, and they show rivers and streams in Mondstadt, and I have to say they did so good on the scenery.
Now, the studio that's supposed to be doing it is UFO table UFO table UFOTABLE. Unit table.
Since you're not worried about the spoilers and you're going to watch it anyway, I'm going to give you something to think about. One of the scenes in the anime trailer has the twins standing side by side, holding hands in a grassy knoll.
Oh.
Look at your eyes. You're already thinking, wait, but how is that when the game is doing what it's doing? Well, what if this is set bum 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 prior to current events?
Yes.
I'm
Maybe
hoping that's what it is.
actually showing them or showing the viewer how they got there.
I'm hoping that's where we are. I'm
Mm.
hoping. But dude, the scenery in I thought the scenery was good in the game. I mean,
Mm.
we all love the scenery and the art style of the game, but whew, I'm glad they didn't make the game look like this because I don't think I'd ever disconnect.
Okay,
And
so
good.
can you tell me if it's CGI or not?
It is not CGI.
It's not CGI. Well, you know me, I prefer non-CGI, but if it had
And
CGI, I would
I'll
still
put it
watch
like
it.
this: I know from what I could tell from the character animations that I've seen, the Paimon animation that I've seen, and stuff like that. It did not look CGI. Now, I'm not going to say that some of this very realistic looking landscape isn't a playoff of CGI, but the bulk of what I've seen in the trailer is not CGI at all.
Okay, I think they probably could pull off the CGI look with scenery, because you could paint that shit like a fifth chapel, and
I
you know
mean,
if it's CGI,
I'm
just paint over
telling
it.
you, I'm telling you, I hate that freaking Frost Mountain, but it almost took my breath away in the scenery, in the landscape when they did the overview of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit! Now
Okay.
that I think about it, it would have to be prior to current events. I just thought about something. There was no
Okay.
there was no pillar floating above that mountain in the trailer.
Oh, no pillar above it. So that means pre whatever calamity befall to that spot.
It was pre us raising the pillar back up. Remember, we rose that pillar back
Yeah.
up. So
Mm.
now that I think about it, I didn't see the pillar in the flyby. So, huh?
And the twins are together. The twins are
They
together.
were holding hands.
Mm. Yeah. And that's a
It
part
confused the shit out of me for a minute. I was like, wait, what? Hold
which
on, man.
which the twins for the that does not know, they are the brothers and sisters. And at some point the brother and sister,
Ether and Lamine.
yeah, either of them gets separated from the one to another. I don't know if they're gonna go from the male perspective or the female perspective. If both of them are there, probably doesn't really matter because if they're both there, probably both their perspective. And then whether or not they're actually on where what planets? Do you know what planet we're on? I forget.
I don't know the name of the planet. I just remember that the land is the overall land is called to that.
Yeah. Either we're on to on the Vat continent at all. We could be where the whole ancestors and all those preset people are at and located, and then we got separated at some point. You want to know why they get separated? Play the game. You learn within the first 2 minutes. Uh, so yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Glad they're doing it. It's about time. It's gonna be worth their money and worth their time. They don't have a manga for it, so they already have mangas for it. They can either take from the mangas or they can make a new story. It's their game.
Oh,
It's their story. They can do whatever they want with it.
I will say this: something that'll make you happy.
Hmm.
The shield is usable.
The show is usable.
Oh, the shield
The
is usable.
shield. Oh yes. Okay. So I have not get to see the new two characters yet. Again, I'm gonna watch it no matter what. So you don't worry about spoiling it too much for me here, Corvo. So give me the details. What
So
am I looking forward
from
to?
what, from what I'm looking forward to is her main offensive attack is
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to be her pole arm.
Mm-hmm.
It looks as though, and I'm not 100% because, like I said, I only got to see bits and pieces of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks as though her shield is a defensive, and it's tied to her elemental skill, not her burst, not her ult, but her
Uh-huh.
skill.
Okay, so you'd be able to use a shield more often. So it's defensive, not offensive. So
Yep.
it's a way to be a little tanky. It's a way to be a little bit more of a.
It kind of looks that way, and in the same respect, Mister Lightning Polearm,
Mhm.
yeah, he gives you all the feelings of a human embodied with Anubis's spirit.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for him. He looks so cool.
It
Um,
is crazy, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to think I'm crazy, but the one I want is neither one of those. I want Nilu.
you want Nilu?
I want Nilu.
Okay, okay.
I want Nilu. Not only is she a sword user
Mm-hmm.
and she's a water vision,
Mm-hmm.
but she looks fantastic while she fights. Like they took the dance style of that type of a character and
Yeah.
turned it into a martial art for fighting with a sword.
Isn't there a dance style that is of or martial arts?
Yes, there is, and it is they beautifully. It was beautiful. I
Mm.
I was already had a soft spot for her after all the crap she goes through later.
Mm-hmm.
So I want Nilu. Now, the only thing I wasn't ever able to glean is if Nilu was going to be a 5 star or a 4 star.
Yeah, they
Was
don't want
not
to keep that from a secret.
so. What I think, this is my predictions. I predict that both pole arms being a 5 star and Nilu being the 4 star.
Mm.
That's what I predict. And then I also hear that on the second phase of the banners, we're going to get the return of Venti and somebody else.
Okay. Honestly, I thought Nilu would have been a fist weapon person. I know it's just wishful thinking on the fist weapons, but with her dancing style, like they have a model or an enemy in game that she's dancing. She's dancing the entire time. She's goofing around, and when she starts attacking you, she's dancing with fist weapons in her hand. I'm like, that looks like what Nilu could easily be. But I'm okay with sword. Nilu's, it's just one of those things. I don't really care what weapon she has. She's
I'm
just
not going to complain too much because they did give us the shield.
yeah. The shield part is nice. I'm glad that
They
they changed up a
give
little
us.
bit.
If it turns out that Nilu is the purple and not the orange,
Hmm.
I'm probably going to pull on Shield Girl just because I want to bash somebody as a defensive ability.
Yeah,
Like,
I
no.
yeah. There's something to be a little bit more. And I think the game should have a little more tactics to it. I wouldn't. Well, of course, that's just my personal opinion. It's my opinion. Something that I don't just press 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6. I just don't press button to button to button to button to button. I need to be
But
more.
I mean, but like we said, they've already taken a step that way with this whole new area because
Mhm.
it's now the environment is affected by what element your character is using. Like mushrooms do different things when they're hit with electric, water, or fire than
Mhm.
what they would do anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, so they're slowly creeping in some more complexity, which I'm enjoying. But I will say that it can become a little bit of a learning curve when you're used to one thing and then you're suddenly thrown into an environment where your elemental skills can affect your ability to get places.
Yeah, especially like, okay, I need to jump in a mushroom. Fire! Oops. Shit.
Yeah,
Now I gotta
uh,
switch my character.
I tell you though, in you're gonna think I'm crazy, but the most valuable character I have had in my party in this new area since I went there is Yelan.
Yelan? Mine?
Yelan is a tanky ass archer, and
Mm,
her ult does so much damage to anything that's affected by electro.
mm-hmm.
It is ridiculous. Those freaking ruin guards, I can pop her ult, and swap to like Shogun.
Yeah.
And now we got the Shogun and water missiles. I will eat a ruin guard like it's a snack. And there has been times my Yelan has an enormous amount of HP.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about 30 plus K for an archer.
Mm.
So there have been times where I know that there's significant damage coming my way, and I've swapped to her, and she just be like, "Really? That's what you got?" You
Well,
know?
I'm forgetting the her elemental name. What's the elemental name? The green, um,
Hydro.
not is it Hydro?
Yelan is Hydro.
Okay,
Calais is Dendro.
okay. So, do you have any Dendro characters in your group?
Right now I'm toting the Traveler around because believe it or not, he does the best Dendro if you keep his skills leveled up and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally right now, Dendro is my favorite element for the Traveler.
Same.
Absolutely.
The combination between Hydro, Pyro, and Electro for Dendro is just it will blow things up, and it depends which one when you're using. It is
I love
so good.
I love popping his ult and then
Mm-hmm.
swapping to the Shogun because when all those little fruits pop out and she hits them with an electric charge, they attack all the enemies.
Mm.
And it just does massive amounts of damage.
You remember the other day me and you were talking about like we were like why the heck nothing works with Earth at all, and we were coming up with ideas of what we would like them to do for with Earth elements.
Yeah.
To make it work with everybody. Another one of the biggest YouTubers on Twitch and on here on YouTube for Get You Impact literally took our ideas word for word. I mean every one of them. I'm
Are you
like,
serious?
yeah.
So wait, hold on.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Okay, you're a giant streamer and you got to steal ideas from me and you.
Yeah, I don't know how the heck you got the information, but literally the ideas were from us. I'm like, dude, I went to his channel and I heard it. I'm like, said that months ago. You're way behind, dude.
Question: I haven't done this yet, but have you tried to use a Geo with a Dendro yet?
Geo with Dendro, no.
I haven't done it either.
Because everybody can tell me it doesn't work. So, yo, what up, Willie? But okay, so yeah, I'm definitely liking it. Glad they're doing anime. I'm glad they're bringing out new characters. But let me, speaking of mobile games, because it Genshin Impact is a mobile game. For those who do not know, I am now have been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Yay! I got sponsors. I took the sponsor. I asked somebody in my stream, like, hey, everybody, okay. Would y'all be upset if I did Raid Shadow Legends as a sponsor? And everybody's like, no, dude, just do what you gotta do. You gotta make money somehow, so just do it. And I asked everybody around, and they were for it. And it was a really, really hard thing. I got hit by HBO Max, and I got hit by another coffee company as well. And I didn't take them because I didn't know how many people would be interested in HBO Max. Like I know some people might have it, but trying it out for the first time might be a difficult thing. You got to buy it in order for me to get sponsorships.
When you watch the video,
Mm-hmm.
you will be told about two upcoming Fatui encounters.
Ooh.
Both of them are of the class of Senora and Child. One of them we have met before, the other one we've only heard of.
I know Senora's supposed to be dead.
It's not her. It's not her.
I know. Like, but not that I know they can make literally like AI robots in the game. I'm just going. I'm like, there's still hope. She'd come back.
That's another thing, dude. There's gonna be a spot where you're gonna legitimately feel the rage for some people.
I am ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, because it like as soon as I seen it, I was like, no, I ain't letting that stand. That shit, I don't even want to. What? No, not okay. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot coming when they open the desert. Just to let you know.
And yeah, and they said that whole desert spot. Like, oh, I found out what that tree was. By the way, I went a little higher You got a better view. Apparently,
Not
there's
really a tree.
it's not a tree. So it's a big old pyramid underneath it with a freaking like sucking and a bunch of or blowing out. I can't quite
Now
tell.
I'm gonna mess you up.
Mhm.
The when you watch it, they tell you what that pyramid is.
Oh, I'm so ready for that pyramid. I am not a huge Egyptian fan, but I'm so
They
ready
will
for it.
show you literally what it is,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna think about what you've seen above it, and you're gonna go, "Oh shit!" That's exactly what you're gonna do.
It's not going to be good. I know that. But
Now,
you know, speaking of HBO Max and try it, which if they give me again, I might try them out. So those keeping try it out, and those who have not known, I need 6 more people to try out this game, Raid Shadow Legends on PC. 6 more people, and I am done with the sponsor. So if you'd be so kind, I got 2 days remaining for the sponsorship to be rounded out. So I need 6 more people. I'll be appreciative if you try it out. Links down below. But Netflix has released just past week or so, and it's been blowing up all over the internet that I have been looking at. And that is the newest anime by a game that I'm sure you're at least you at least know of it. You may not have ever played it, but at least you know of it. And that is Cyberpunk.
yes, I've heard of Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2020 or 2022 or 20, I forget. It's something Cyberpunk 20 something. But the anime has released on Netflix. And this is the most one not suitable for kids. We're gonna go that route again, like you thought about last week or so. Not suitable for kids at all. But this show reminds me of the feel of it. Reminds me of anime back in the like late 80s, early 90s, where there is like has that like futuristic feel to it, right? It's like that dystopian futuristic. Everything's in shit. Everything's in shambles. World is going to hell, but they're trying to make the best of they can. And I'm not gonna end the spoilers here, but it reminds me of an OG anime where not everything has a happy ending.
Yeah,
And that this show did that, and it makes you feel it makes it feel real, but sometimes it hits you like it's too real. Like you watch anime to be happy, not to go, oh damn, that's too real. That's hitting too close to home, a little too close.
so, by chance, did you watch any of the anime I told you about last time?
With the Shield Girl or not Shield Girl, the Sword Girl.
Yeah.
Yes, I did watch some of it.
Did you see the wardrobe malfunction?
Yes, several times actually, because that's a trope in some anime. And I was kind of like, I was actually kind of a little bit confused. I'm like, this show looked like it's wholesome, it's sweet, it's kind, and then like wow,
Yeah.
like round just there it is, all the show, all the scene. I'm like,
Enjoyed that anime very, very much.
I think the manga's
really-
better. I know I probably spoiled myself. I think the manga's better. And I know we don't like reading, but the show was good. But the manga was better. I feel like they're missing a couple of spots in it, but I get why they did that. Right? It's a time constraint. They're trying to squeeze as many as they can into the story. They don't need every single details because of what they may not be able to tell you. They may at least or not what they may not be able to show you. They might be able to tell you. And I was like, I'd rather you show me. But it's still a good one. The manga's still going though, so even then, there's no end, and that sucks. It's like can I have an end, please?
Yeah,
I know you want an ending to it real bad.
I do because I'm like, come on, man. I mean, really, we gonna put this dude through all this shit, and we're not even gonna give an ending to it.
Well,
Hey.
him and her.
I will tell you this: if I could forge a katana that could do what he would do, I wouldn't mind if it broke after the battle.
I'm kind of confused. Like during the entire show, I can't really tell if he's supposed to be the main protagonist or she is, which is not a bad thing. I think
It's
it's a good
okay.
balance.
What they're doing is they're telling his story, but from her viewpoint.
Mm.
Think about it, because one of the later episodes, what does she do? She just bursts in and lays it all out for him, exactly how everything happened. The shit that he didn't even realize because she put all the parts together.
Mm.
Like, oh shit, really? I've been thinking it was this way the whole time.
Yeah, and she gets the main weapon in the story too. So I'm like, wait. Is he the main story character or she is? She gets the best weapon. She's always in this, and pretty much in every single scene. She's always talking. It's like,
I wish my could look that way.
yeah, let me have a story that can walk and talk and move around like a human being. But then all right, concealed weapon, come to me. No one knows it until I say something. But then again, she doesn't want to be used for killing, so she ended up using it for killing. It's just one of those things. You just gotta. It kind of sucks. You try to keep your promise. It's a good show, but the manga did it better. Of course, if anybody has Netflix, I believe it's on Netflix. Go try out Cyberpunk. And what was the name of the other anime that we were just talking about?
It's the Sacred Blacksmith.
Yeah, Sacred Blacksmith. But that was on that was not HBO. That was on Hulu at one time, but it's not on Hulu no more. I think you find it anywhere online. So if you're interested, go check it out. Go check out those two things. I'm definitely interested in that. So I wanted to talk about your adventures with some more deep diving and some maybe going to see some sea cows, but you got rained out.
Yeah, it's like we woke up. I texted him because we knew before we went to bed that Friday night there was a chance of rain down there.
Mm-hmm.
So he texted them and then called them, and they're like, "Yeah, it is. The seas are rough and the rain is hard, and then there was lightning popping out there, and being on a boat in the ocean with lightning, not safe.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do that. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, but I mean, it's better to be safe than not, right?
Yeah.
Upside is we only got a couple of weeks now before the vacation.
I mean,
I find myself going to droid building videos and lightsaber building videos on the regular.
just get yourself prepared so you know what to do.
I watched one. I'm glad that I'm going to be videoing making my own so that I'm not in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because I watched one and I didn't think about it, but this girl, her her boyfriend bought them some time back season passes to Disney, and ever since Galaxy's Edge opened up, she's wanted to build a lightsaber, but she couldn't make herself spend the money, even though she's a huge Star Wars fan. So for her birthday, he secured her a spot to build her a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in, they're building a lightsaber, and you could literally see this girl tearing up, and she's constantly doing this, try to keep the tear out of her eye. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna cry like a baby then, probably. I'm glad I'm gonna be filming making my own, and someone ain't looking at me. I'd hate to be that.
Yeah, that would be pretty much with me if there was a spot somewhere where had maybe some anime related stuff that I was deeply invested in. Uh Same way, it would just be a dream. Of course, I felt that when I went to Japan, so just going there was enough for me to start getting me tearing up. So I'm glad you were ready for that. I won't be able to have a vacation until we have our financials more and stable and more in line. It's been raining here so much that I haven't been able to get on the roof to truly check out that manhole on top of our roof for the line of the water.
I even think about going outside to do something. I open the door and it starts raining. So now I'll just sit in the house and try not to think about it, and it doesn't rain until I open the door.
Yeah, I could kind of see why my parents watch the news so much, because it's like, oh, can I do something today that I need to get done? Oh wait, it's raining. Yay!
What gets me is a lot of people misunderstand how to read rain percentages.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people look at it and it says 60% chance of rain. They're thinking that means there's 60% chance of rain.
Mm-hmm.
But what it really means is 60% of your area. is going to get rain.
Mm-hmm.
You could be in that area, inside that 60% zone, you could be outside of it. So I find it funny sometimes because people will look at it and they're like, "Oh, it's only like 20% chance of rain. We should be fine." And then it downpours in their area. They're like, "We don't understand. The weather people must have got it wrong. It's more like 100%." No, dude, you just happen to be in the 20% area of land that the
Yeah.
rain fell on. So you know,
Well, of lately, it's been just raining for actually for like a couple of days, and then it'll stop. For a while during the summer, it was kind of like a washover, like somebody just took a hose and went, Shh, all right, you're good. And I was like, all right, well, even if it's raining, give it like 5 minutes, it'd be over. And then it didn't. Then the rest of the day would be dry as a whistle. Um, but I actually got to cut the grass before I ran the other day, so that was kind of nice. But people are like, "Oh, you're an adult now. You like cutting grass?" Actually, I don't mind it that much. When I was younger, I hated it. Nowadays, it's not that bad. But I had to treat the backyard one more time because if everybody does not know, we have like neighbors around us, and they all have dogs. We have one neighbor to our left of us and one to our right in the back of us, and one of them has fleas at the wazoo, and we had to treat the backyard for fleas, all of it. And then we had to give our dogs flea medicine. And then we had to give them worm medicine. And then since we got that cat and then the dog, we had to give all of them I don't know, it wasn't parvo shots. It was like some kind of shot. So we had to mix our own shots and give every single one of those animals shots. And that was a pain in the ass getting all them down. And Lala, you know Lala, she's aggressive when you try to get her to eat something. I had to wrap her up like a freaking burrito, and she was like, "Rawr." I'm like, "Oh, you better get her now, because this thing's about to just start scratching at my eyeballs." Um, she was not about having that on her, in her, and it felt like a veterinarian clinic. Pretty much took us all day doing that, and that cost
yep,
us around close to $200 doing all of that. I'm
yep,
like, all because some people couldn't be bothered to be sure to give their animals, I don't know, flea medicine. Who has animals and doesn't realize, even if they're outside animals, you still got to give them flea medicine? They're inside animals. You still got to give them flea medicine. You do that not just for yourself, but the people that live around you.
yep,
Our animals haven't had fleas literally like the entire time we lived in our old apartment. But prior to that, we never had fleas. We moved here, bam, fleas. It's like, I get my own home and now we get fleas? It's yes, 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 I see you. Yes, I see you. I'm talking about the animals, and then they're all go away, go away, go away. um, so needless to say, I'm glad I got that done and over with, but that was a big pain in the ass getting all that done, and of course spending more money that we didn't quite want to spend on something that's not technically our problem. I'm sure you have
yep.
that thing. Oh, speaking of problems, how's Rollover doing?
So I would say he's on the upswing with his vehicle problems.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some parts ordered for his truck, but he just purchased a little car because the truck's supposed to be a project vehicle, and he didn't want to turn
Yes.
it into a daily driver. So he got his money from the accident, and he purchased him a little car. So he's taking it up to a shop, letting them do a few little minor tweaks and stuff on it before he starts driving it daily. But I think he's getting back on the up and up.
Okay, glad. No injuries, I'm hoping.
No, no, he was a little bruised up, a little scratched up from the airbag deployment, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
He was more concerned about the other people, the people that caused the accident, because there were two kids in the car.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah.
So he was more concerned about that, but everybody was fine. Everything come out okay. Their insurance company got him taken care of pretty quickly. So I mean he's doing all right. So yeah, I mean he's looking forward to December because that's when our trip with him is in December.
Okay, okay. Okay, so here's a question for you. I know you're a bit of a fan of this particular game
Yes.
that's coming out in October. And I'm gonna try to see if you can take a guess what game it is coming out in October.
In October.
In October.
Oh,
So,
there's a list. There's a list for October.
yeah, but there's one specific one that we say is one of the sexiest ladies in video games.
Oh, Bayonetta?
Bayonetta 3 coming out in
Brother,
October.
brother. There ain't nothing between me and Bayonetta but the cash leaving my hand to the register.
You already put in your pre-order? Maybe. Yes, I am looking forward to. I'm trying to get my pre-order. As soon as I get paid out, I'm
Hey,
buying my pre-order.
what
Just let me
I
know.
want, what I want though, really right now, is I can't wait for the next open world Zelda to come out.
Oh yeah, Rise of, or is it Rise of the Kingdom?
It's
Fall.
something Tears.
Oh yeah, just Tears of the Kingdom. Something I don't know.
Something
Honey,
like that.
what
Anyway,
was the new Zelda game's name?
there's a lot
What's
of
the new
people
Zelda's
up in
game name?
arms.
Tears of the Kingdom. That was right. Okay, Tears of the Kingdom.
There's a lot of people that are up in arms about the fact that they're releasing this and it's not Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, they didn't name it Breath of the Wild
So
2.
in case anybody hasn't looked at Zelda history, every Zelda game since the beginning of time, even if it's a continuance of a prior game, has had its own title.
Yes, and it's
Every
always started with Zelda, but that's it. That's how you can establish it. You know, it's a Zelda game. It's just Zelda.
It's like you've got Legend of Zelda, and then you've got Legend of Zelda, blah blah blah, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Mask, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, blah blah blah. They all start with Legend of Zelda, but even the continuances have their own title name.
Mm.
The problem is a lot of people that don't know no better, that just became Legend of Zelda fans when Breath of the Wild came out, do not realize that this is Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes.
And
Honestly, that when I saw the trailer, I'm like, wait, they're making another Zelda game before Breath of the Wild 2? And then I saw the world, I'm like, wait, this is Breath of the Wild. This is Breath of the Wild. I thought it was like a different game. Like, they're doing another like a little spin-off. Like, okay, I'm down for another game. Sure, just go for it. I don't mind. But then I saw the world, I'm like, this is Breath of the Wild. Like, that's all I needed to see was the world.
yeah, I think in true Zelda fashion,
Mm.
they withheld certain information.
Oh yeah.
They called it BTOW 2 because they wanted a placeholder
Mm-hmm.
when they did the announcement, but they always intended to give it another name. I
Yeah,
think.
I can see that.
And if I'm wrong, if they do have like, if this is like some spinoff inside the Breath of the Wild, world, then I'm wrong and I'm sorry, but I don't think I am. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, but see, all the other trailers of the gameplay, because they showed the little timey-wimey part of that little rock going upwards, which just like the timey-wimey thing they had going on with the other Breath of the Wild trailer teasers they had like over a year ago. So I'm like, there has to be one the same. You know, they're in the sky too, and they're jumping down to the earth. I'm like, that's Breath of the Wild, and then they show me the trailer's name. I'm like, it's just Breath of the Wild with just a new name with it. I don't really mind either way. I'm just hoping. I didn't show no footage or gameplay with Princess Zelda. So some tell me at some point you're not going to be able to play as her. I was kind of hoping they would show maybe like this time around, like, look, you can also play as Princess Zelda going through this part of the game. You know, maybe she's exploring the lower dungeons while Link is on top of the top and going to the sky doing those dungeons, and like you have a little bit of a split going on, or maybe you join up at some time, you play with your friends and your family members if you wanted to. So I'm kind of open for that, but.
I mean, what I'm more curious about is finding is in the teaser trailer from a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why was his body impaled below the castle?
Yeah, and being being held by a hand and like sucking them out like a freaking like a grape. Um, and then of course we got to figure the question is that Gandalf or is it not? Most people speculate it is. There's a lot of theories channels that my wife watches when it comes to guessing what and who that is. And I'm now with that one image of that like one guy with that the very beginning of the new trailer, the guy the little mural on the wall. There's gonna be a lot of trailers guessing who the heck that is. My wife went when she saw that she immediately went, is that Princess Mononoke or Spirit Away? I'm like, it's Japan. It's probably something similar.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of things. I'm just excited. There's some good
Yes.
games. There are some good games coming. There
But
really
that
are.
won't be till May of 2023.
But to remind everybody, October's coming. That means horror streams will start.
Yeah, I when October is here, I'm playing Bayonetta. I might play one horror two game or so, but Bayonetta.
And I'm committed. I'm committed to 2 or 3 horror games. I have to do them.
Yeah.
Um, I am definitely doing the Quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I don't know if I'm gonna do. I don't know which one I'm doing next. It I don't know. It could be Madison. It could be Fatal Frame. I'm not sure. But one of the two of them will follow the Quarry.
Mm.
Um,
Are you
if you
gonna do
want
like a? I know what your work schedule. It's gonna be a little hard to work with, but are you gonna just go? Hey, we're streaming multiple times a day, so get ready for weeks of nightmare. Or are you gonna just?
the idea is that when time permits during that month,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be in front of this computer. Now there will be a week y'all won't get a stream because obviously I'll be on my vacation.
Well, yeah.
But um, when I get back, we will be going ham every chance we get. And when the weekend hits, unless something drastic happens, when I get up, we're gonna start, and we may take a break sometime middle of the day for lunch, and then we'll get back to it, and then we'll take a break for dinner. And if I'm not too tired, we'll get back to it, and we're gonna go. Because I honestly, I have, I have the the teaser play
Mm-hmm.
for the quarter pull down, and I played through that, and I want to know what happened at the end of the teaser because it leaves you in a spot, and you're just like, wait, what? What? No, come on, man.
Oh, speaking of horror games, did you see that they're bringing some of the Resident Evil games to the Switch, but they're going to be releasing them on the cloud?
Yes, see
Can you
that.
do you know what the cloud is? I have an idea what it is, but I don't really know for sure what the
So
cloud is.
what they're doing is instead of having a physical copy, you'll be able to run it from their servers directly to your machine as long as you have a network connection.
Okay, so you don't need to run it off the Nintendo Switch's hardware. You're just capturing it with the Nintendo Switch and then playing
Right,
from there.
right.
Okay. How do you feel about games like that you literally don't even own in any capacity? It's literally on their servers, and if those servers, let's say, go down or they shut them down, you don't get access to those
I
games
mean,
no
we've
more.
had this discussion before, and I'm a lot like you. I like physical copies.
Yeah, like this is not even like a hey, you can download it onto something and have a like a hard drive, right? You know, I download the hard drive, it's mine forever as long as this hard drive don't get corrupted. But this is on literally on their servers, on their hardware, on their hard drives. Those things go down. That's
I
it.
don't like I don't like the idea, but I will tell you this: it's all ultimately going to get to that point,
Ugh.
and there's a plus and a minus side to that.
Mm,
Okay, plus side is you still get your games, and now that since it's residing on their hardware, if their hardware fails, it's on them,
mm,
not on you. Which means as soon as their hardware is repaired, you should have your game back.
mm.
downside of that is you don't have the physical copy. Now, how many times have you had a physical copy and the physical copy get messed up?
Barely ever.
Right. Well, for some people that's the case, but for actually a large number of people,
Mm.
physical copies tend to grow legs and walk off, or their kids step on them, or their dog chews it up, or
Battery
whatever.
dies, get corroded around the connected
All you
points.
have, if all you have is the physical copy, now you're out the money regardless.
Mm-mm.
Whereas, yes, if their hardware fails, you may be out of the game for a little while, but as soon as it comes back up, provided that they have adequate backup systems, and most of these places do, everything should be restored, and you should be good to go. You don't have to worry about your dog chewing it, your child sticking it in a toaster or whatever,
Mm.
because there's a perpetual backup to restore that information that we can't afford to have.
Yeah.
We don't have the money for that.
Mm.
Um, so there's pros and cons. If you're someone that takes real good care of your physical copies, then it's a con for you to have it up there because you're used to having that access at your fingertips. If the game goes down, you still have the ability. Pro to it is if you're one of those people that you have kids, you have a lot of pets, you have a lot of friends in and out of the house or whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
don't run the risk of it walking off, getting broken, getting stolen, getting hidden by accident or whatever. It's always on their equipment. So yeah, I mean, to me, I personally like physical copies, but I can also see the pluses in having the ones that aren't physical.
This is one of the Pokemon game that I just got.
Sweet,
So I've been
nice.
having this one already, but I'm probably gonna sell that one. She just got the other. Is that Diablo? Okay, good. We got you got to test to make sure they work with no case around it though. Oh, that's oh boo. Come on. So I reason why I call me a conspiracy theorist or whatnot. I'm worried like what PlayStation did and maybe even Microsoft does at one time that they go, okay, so we had this game on current gen console. It plays on Nintendo Switch. Well, let's say Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. And they don't go and change that and move that service and those games over to that console. And then they go, after so many years, they get Nintendo Switch 3. And then they go, all right, well, that old server, the whole old system where you had that old Resident Evil game was on that you bought and paid for through our cloud system. Yeah, we're shutting that service down and we're not moving it over to the newest generation. We're just shutting it down. All your games are now just gone. On top of the fact you might be paying a subscription service to access their internet and you're paying for the game and you're
There's there's always the possibility of that. I'm not going to say that you don't have founded suspicions. What I will say, the likelihood of it is very, 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 very fucking slim.
mhm,
Because somebody like me that bought and paid for something, if they just shut it down, technically that's stealing from me.
yeah.
I will prosecute your ass.
Well, some people for PlayStation, I think they did try to prosecute them, and which I think is a good thing because PlayStation did that. Like they literally did that to their player base. Like they had games, it was on their system. They it was a digital game, and then they went back and tried to go get the game, and they closed the service. It was shut down. I'm like, but that's my game. I bought and paid for it. I want access to it. Even if it's on the newest generation, you should at least, I don't know, move it over to the newest generation. Then again, storage, right? Capabilities, hardware. If the hardware is better, it should be able to handle it, right? It should be. But then you got to see
No,
their side of whether or not they can.
nothing's ever going to have infinite storage, though. That's just the
Yeah.
way that shit goes. It's like, I love Divine Souls. It was a little clanky for some people because it went through a couple of hands trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
But I like that game, but you can't play that game, even though it shows up in Switch in Steam, and you can go to it and click play. Servers are not available.
Oh. And that's
But
that's
on the other side, I will say that was a free to play game, so I didn't lose money.
Well, that's what okay. I know you played a little bit when you were younger, and so I think all of us at some point, for those who are in our generation, played World of Warcraft back when we were younger.
Yeah.
And when they started releasing Warcrafts, Cataclysm Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor Warcraft, um the Legion one, and all, they just started releasing all them, and someone made their own server of World of Warcraft Classic, and they had it where anybody can join it to a limitation, right? I could join these Warcraft servers and join and do that kind of stuff. So a lot of people did, and then Blizzard put a cease and desist on that because that's theirs, right? That's their IP, but they weren't willing to release a World War Classic for players to actually enjoy until they did, which a lot of people were happy for. And I think that stuff like that should be allowed if let's say Nintendo goes and starts supporting Resident Evil on a Nintendo Switch, later in the future. They should give you, well, just my opinion, should give you like, hey, we notice you have this game on this server. Would you like to download it and own it? Yes. Let me download it. So when you shut down that server, I can still play it. Or find a way to play it on the newest hardware that's out for Nintendo. Let's say whatever Nintendo console's out that time. So maybe at the time that the game came out, the newest console is able to handle the the game's capabilities or graphic settings or frame rates or whatever. I don't know. That's just spitballing some ideas. I just hope Nintendo does everybody right. Nintendo's normally a very good company, but they are a company for first most, so they have to be there for a profit gain. It's that's just the way companies work. They got to be working for money. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did shut it down at some point and people end up losing their games. And if Nintendo does it right by the consumer, they'll allow people to download it. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I will be buying Bayonetta on a physical copy because nice thing about Nintendo Switch things, the cases are really really small, and their games are also really really small. So it ain't like the old school 64 controller or 64 games and big old box, big old cartridge. And it's really nice and small, compact. This is smaller than a manga. Um, it's still a pretty large footprint, honestly, but it's still smaller than most things would be. I think some anime series need to be released on cartridges like this small, instead of like a big old set of like anime disc with like 8 or 9 or 4 or 5 discs with a big old box, just a little tiny small box with a cartridge inside of it with just all the anime on it, or your favorite TV show.
You realize all the game is not on that, right?
Well, if there's an update, there isn't.
No, no, not all the games on there. Period. Have
Really?
you ever noticed? You ever notice when you plug it in, you hit it and it says loading? It's
No.
pulling. It's yeah. When the first time you run a game off of a cartridge, most cartridges that
Hmm.
is, if you'll notice, it's pulling information. Well, the reason it's pulling that information is reaching out to their servers and pulling that information for you and
What if
putting it on your device.
So what if people don't have like access to internet? Because not everybody has internet.
Well, here's the thing: some of them don't require those expansion packages.
Uh-huh.
But like, let's say an open world like Breath of the Wild, there's no way that Breath of the Wild can fit on one of those cartridges. It's too large.
Hmm.
That's why it has to pull packages and then ask you to connect to a network the first time you run it.
Interesting. Okay, just speculations here. What if they have you pull the information from the network and then it downloads it to the cartridge?
Well, the problem with that is the size of the cartridge.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
you
that
did say that.
cartridge, I mean, how many gigs is that cartridge?
Well, no, I don't know because it never says.
Or I mean, you've seen You've seen certain drive sizes and stuff. Now they have thumb drives that can be up to 256 gigs, up to a terabyte.
I'm about to say, I see a
But
terabyte of like a thumb drive smaller than this.
I have never seen a cartridge
Mm-hmm.
with a single chip in it be that large.
Mm. Wonder how I never really looked at how big Breath of the Wild is, but
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
mm,
But I've been playing games for a long time. I've been dealing with them tiny cartridges for a long time, and back in the day of Donkey Kong, yeah, they could have all fit on the cartridge. But when you start talking about open world, massive worlds like Breath of the Wild or some of the others,
sorry about that.
you're talking about gigs and gigs and gigs of data. So
Hey,
unless I'm wrong, I mean, hey, if that's a 64 gig card, it could have everything you need on it. But I have no idea, and I haven't ever seen a cartridge, a tiny card like that, have that space.
Well, I don't know how much a CD can hold, but I saw like how big some games those things can hold, like the Blu-ray ones for like more modern games. So I'm like, I always thought that the gaming future would be on CD. And then Nintendo released it on the cartridge. I'm like, wow, that must be a powerful, big ass cartridge.
Your normal DVD is like 4 point something gigs. Dual layers are like 8 point something. Blu-rays, I believe they got up to, I think, and I could be wrong. I want to You know what? I don't want to speculate. Let me look.
You're supposed to be the computer guru here. Come on.
Oh, nobody hardly uses discs anymore.
I know. I still think like if like an anime company or a TV show company went and got rid of the disc and like started releasing like USB or thumb drives like this side of Nintendo Switch.
Okay, so current Blu-rays are like 50 and 25 gig on the normal. So think about some of these games that have multiple Blu-ray discs.
I'm looking at Nintendo Switch because I want to know Switch games.
I'm curious what the cartridge is too.
That sounds about right. If you're correct, it says there's a lot easier this week. Nintendo's Japanese Switch set just to obtain a branch of information. Thank you for confirm. Only going to be in 1 gigabyte range.
All right, so here you go. I'm looking now. Nintendo Switch cards have a variety of capacities, usually between 1 and 64 gigs of data.
Yeah, that is not very much at all.
Yeah, so imagine now all that shit from Breath of the Wild. Do you think that's all on one card?
Yeah, that's a good thought. So I wonder how people are getting it with they don't have the internet.
Well, it pulls it and stores it because there is some internal storage on your Switch. I mean, I can't remember because I hadn't touched my Switch in a while, to be perfectly honest. But doesn't the Switch have the ability to put an SD card in it?
Yeah, I do. And you can smack that thing with.
You can smack that thing with a lot of storage, and then when it pulls it, it just stores that on your local SD card, so it can render it even off network.
And I think it also has internal memory as well. I could be wrong. So it's internal memory, then SD memory, and then the game cartridge.
So that's what I'm saying is that I would not say that every cartridge has all the game data for certain games. Like I'm sure if you have a Nintendo Switch card that has like Mega Man side scroll style, the whole game is probably on that card.
Yeah,
because it was a very small package. But you start talking about 3D rendering Breath of the Wild, we're talking gigs and gigs of data just for one map area.
Unless they're, this is just, you correct me if I'm wrong. Could they possibly like compact a lot of the information in zip folder and have the game slowly unpack those files and then unrelease them and get access to this?
It depends on the native software that they have on it, the firmware, and whether it can read directly from a zip or not.
Okay.
If it can't read from a zip, all that would have to be unpacked on the device anyway to be read. But if it can read it in zip file, it
Yeah.
would take less space and still allow it to run.
Okay, but still probably not. I would imagine still probably not because Breath of the Wild is huge. Now, I don't think all assets or all assets of the game are always active. I'm sure they
No,
have like a.
it renders it as it needs it.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. The first time you connect and it asks you to be connected to a network, I think that's strictly because it's pulling down the assets and saving it to you for you
Mm.
in a storage area. And then moving forward, it only renders it as you need it.
Mm. Okay, honestly, when I first started, I thought when it first came out, and I did the little loading screen and the access internet, I thought it was like, oh, just checking to make sure that I actually have a legitimate copy of the game. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever, sure, check. This is my game.
It's part of it because if you don't have a legitimate copy of the game in it when you connect to the network, it will not pull down all those assets.
Mm.
It'll say no.
Okay. Yes, it's the double firewall, just in case for those who want to be a little smart, a little cheeky with the shit.
Right. I'm just saying it's a physical copy, but it kind of isn't. If you get what I'm saying, it
Yeah,
is.
it's like a key almost, just like, hey, I
Yeah,
access this now because it's key
correct.
in server.
I mean, I've had games before where I stick the card in and it has me connect to the internet, and then it asks me if I want to download the game.
Mm.
Why am I downloading the game if it's on the card? I'm not. The card was literally just the access to get the game.
That's probably why some people don't want their Nintendo Switch to brick because they lose a lot of their game progress if they get the Nintendo Switch
That
bricks.
that But if you are smart and you have your Switch saving to the SD card,
Mm.
then it doesn't matter if it breaks
Yeah.
because when you start a new one up and you log in with your profile and shit, and you stick that SD card in there, all you really got to do is pull the applications back down, and then your data's still in the right location, so it finds it.
Yeah, that's what I did for my Nintendo Switch. When we got her another one, I just transferred everything from SD card from hers to mine, and then download everything to the SD card instead of onto the console because I I wanted to be able to take the SD card anywhere. And if my Nintendo Switch did brick, I was worried about that. But now that I know there might be assets on there as well, like not just like the memory of the save file, but the assets of the actual game, might be a better investment to make sure you have a good bit of storage on a Nintendo Switch rather than getting like 250
I
gigabyte
mean,
SSD
I mean,
card.
you can get a 256 gig card for like $20 at Walmart now. I mean, you can
I
get a
actually got
terabyte.
I got a terabyte from Walmart for $20 from
Yeah, I
Walmart.
mean, you can catch them on you can catch them on sale. I mean, it's not that you can't have the storage capacity. It's just people will have to know that they need it.
Mm,
You know, it's like with my NAS. I didn't need 42 terabytes of space to move all my stuff, but I might one day.
yeah.
So I have moved all my data to it and still have like 36 terabytes free.
Yeah, everything's getting bigger, so you might as well just start getting ready for it. But okay.
At some point, we're going to go from terabytes to petabytes.
Yeah, true and real. So there we go. That is it for this week. Unless you have another topic you want to talk about, we're good. All right. So that will be it for this week. For those who are here, thank you one more time to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring me. If I get any new sponsors, I'll let you know. But be sure if you are on your computer and you have a computer available to you, and let's say your niece, nephew, you yourself, your grandma, your auntie, hell, Lord Pestilence took his mom's computer the other day and did it for me. Download the game on the computer. Just go check the link down below. Download the game. Make a quick account whether you got Twitter, Facebook, Yahoo, email. It doesn't matter. Easy, quick. Try it out today. And then get through the trials. That's all you gotta do. And if you don't want to play the game afterwards, I'm not telling anybody you have to keep on playing the game. Just at least do the trial. I appreciate that. I'm 6 away. Help me reach there. And I will see everybody next week on Friday. Next week on Friday, one more time, 5 o'clock, Central PST time, here at the BearThoughts channel. And be sure to like, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below what your game you're looking forward to this year. And as always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life, good night, good boy. Bye, 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 bye. 1, 2, 3.